Hello. How are we doing today? I have sleepy baby disease. Ooh. Streamlabs just froze real hard for a second there and worried me. I was scared. Seems fine though. We're still good. Probably. But I think maybe my laptop isn't a fan of 3 days in a row. Maybe. Oh, I forgot that I hid that. Let's unhide that and update it. Oh, or you could just do that. That's fine too, I guess. I don't want that. Oop. Here we go. Let's change this. If it'll let me. Okay. There we go. That's better. Okay. So this is going to be a lot of me looking at a bunch of different art supplies and stuff. But first I'm going to make some more lines for these cards. So basically what we're doing is setting up color cards like this, where it has like a specific color name and then I've color matched the other stuff to go into my little box where I draw the possibilities each month from. So on my Patreon there is a poll going right now between these 4 colors, but I have other colors to draw from in the future, and I could use a few more of those. I think we're getting a little sparse, so I think it's time to add some more to the pile. And that's especially great because I just got a whole bunch of new paints. So yeah, if you wanted to become a patron and vote for one of these colors, if you really like them, you could. My tiers start at $1 a month, so it's super affordable if you wanted to. And you could even just sign up for 1 month if you had a really strong opinion and then not come back. I won't judge you. But there's that link. Yeah. And it's really cold here today. So we'll see how long before I get too cold and want to go back to my room, but I need to work on these, so there you go. Hey, Sparkle! This one I can get rid of. This is trash because I already filled out the other one. Then there were a couple that I needed. This one I need to pick a DMC thread color for. This one I think is good to go into the bucket. It probably just wasn't dry, the watercolor, the last time I put that in. I don't know. Because we did do these on stream at some point too. So I just need to pick a thread color for this one. There's a third color here that I haven't filled in because I didn't have something that really matched. But I may use one of these colors because I think the rose matches this pretty well. So let's do that really fast. I'm realizing that I have more paintbrushes in my room that I didn't bring out because I was working on other stuff, but I think we'll be okay. I think we can manage with the B-listers here. That one was just rose, so I think that will be okay with it. It's a little pinker, but they don't need to be exact matches. They're just like close enough matches. I guess the amethyst might match a little bit too, but let's just do this because it is a little different, but it's, I think, enough in the same camp that I'm all right with it. Because I did have to, maybe I'll mix a little bit of, which one is it? Grape. Yeah, I think it's close enough. I might mix a little bit of the grape color in just on the paper, and then I'll write that down on the thingy. Just because I like having some options. Yeah, I think just a little bit of that, and that'll get us exactly where we want to go. Yeah, that's perfect. And I do have now, the reason I was waiting to do a thread color on this one is because I have a limited amount of thread colors just like hanging around. But I now have the ultimate power of having the full DMC thread booklet. So we can look and decide which number would work best. Then I can just write it on there and buy the color when this comes up. And this thing is huge, so it will not fit all under the camera, but it's literally every thread color that DMC sells. And they have the actual thread dye samples there, so you can really tell, like, one, what it'll look like in different lights, but also how it'll look in person. So here we have the reds, the pinks, purples, we have blues and greens. We have greens, yellows, and some oranges. We have more oranges, some pinkies, and some neutral tones. And then it also has their sparkle stuff and variegated neon, that kind of stuff. But let's... And because it is so big, it is incredibly difficult to wrangle for this. I'm gonna move my paint water out of the way just because I'd rather not spill that all over my laptop. You know how it is. But let's try and get the colors we care about here. So we're probably gonna be around this realm. I think none of these are quite the right brightness. But I think somewhere in here is probably our best bet. Because these ones are a bit too greeny, and these are too blue. Yeah, I think down here, I think maybe this one. One of these two, which you can't see. Here, let me... That's gonna block the light. See what I mean about this being just too big? It is a very useful tool, but at what cost? So I think probably one of these two, and I'm leaning towards the lighter one. So I'm just gonna write that down on the card here. Oh, I think I was using a 005. You're 08. That's not what I want. I had one. Where was it? I used it yesterday. Which means I probably put it someplace stupid that I'm never going to find again. Are you in there? Oh, you're just hiding from me. You're in there. Here we go. I'm just blind. It's fine. So I had like a really big lunch like right before stream started. So I'm going to end up with sleepy baby disorder again. But I have a slightly caffeinated tea, which my usual rule is that I don't have any caffeine after like 1 p.m. my time, and it's like we're nearing 3 o'clock. But you know how it be. Sometimes you just need a little boost. 3849 is what I want. I'm just gonna double check and make sure that I don't have that color in my stock already. Which I don't think I do. We can check. Yeah, I don't think so. Unless you're up here. I have another 3845. That's close. But I think 2 blue. Yeah. I think the other one is better. I do have another plastic sorter, and I just haven't gotten around to sorting everything. because I do have more colors than are just in here because I've added some more colors to my collection. So they're in a separate, they're on a ring, like a binder ring. So yeah, I don't have that color. So that will be a to purchase color. This is going to be a situation where I have every single art supply I've ever owned spread out across the room. But that's okay. So I will leave that one blank, but I should make a note that that's a color that I want to buy. So let me pull up the sheet in my sketchbook. Which has really just turned into a notebook, but that's okay. Okay. 3, 8, 4, 9. Okay. And this can go in here. So I have these little containers that are from the tea company that I buy from. I was working on making a tea blend, which is actually what I'm drinking today, is the same. And they require you to put label art on them. But you can buy like tins of the blends that you make, and then the tins are like the perfect size for putting little notes in. So that's where all of these go. I should separate out the ones that are being voted on now so that I don't mix them in with everything else. I can put those in the Dunzo pile. I also right now could write the projects that we finished on this guy, because this is this month's color. This guy. The month is December 2023. Project 1 was the growth typography, I'll say. Project 2, we did green critters, and then I also did a quilt block where you guys couldn't see. I did that one entirely off stream. So we got 3 done. I wanted to get 4 done, but I was fighting my own brain a lot this month, so I'm really pleased that I got 3 done. And we're going to give ourselves grace and say that we can return to that other project idea at any point in time, because I can. It doesn't just go away forever. I have the idea written down. I have a little thumbnail sketch, which, ooh, I hit the light. That was probably really weird. Sorry. So I can return to that anytime that I want. I just need to do, tomorrow is a Patreon post writing day. But I will put these ones that we're voting on into the done pile and probably remember that at some other point. I just did hot water if you want tea. You might want to push it again because it has been sitting there for a second, but... oh, I was going to show you the quilt block. So I did this off stream. So this is the 3rd one that we've done because I made these, and most of these I've done off stream because they require a different level of focus than I think really works for stream time. But so this is our most recent one, which is the New Leaf Green, which is the color this month. This was last month's, which the color was Violet. And then the first one I did was for streaming. And the color in focus was Burnt Umber. I'm gonna sneeze, excuse me a moment. Okay, yeah, so Burnt Umber, Violet, and then New Leaf Green is this month. So this is the one that I finished that nobody's seen yet. Look, you're seeing it live for the first time. And my idea is I'm going to do a quilt block like this of all the different colors for a year and then sew them all together to make a large wall hanging showing all the different colors. So right now I'm just doing a bear paw pattern for all the quilt blocks, but I think once I get enough of those done, I'm going to do a center with a different pattern just to mix it up a little bit. So, yeah. Did you have a question, Greg? You were looking at me. No? Okay. But yeah, I'm leaving this out because I still need to make a post about it, but now, which folder did I take these out of? That's the next question. This is why none of my stuff is organized. Like, I start organizing and then I get distracted and forget how I had it organized. That's okay, though. All right, so why did I not put this one away? Is there a reason? I don't think so. Go in here, please. I also should make a list of the colors that I've already done because I definitely haven't done that, which is wild for me. I didn't make a list. Scandalous. I love making lists. Did I do cadmium orange? I don't know that I did. But we'll find out. But first, I would like a piece of paper that I'm okay with writing on, which probably means my sketchbook is the right answer, but I also have some little scraps of other stuff that I can use here. Because I just keep all the paper that I already have pre-cut. And some of them I cut to do tests on, and then I didn't use the whole page. And it was cheaper paper, so I'm not that worried about it. This one. Perfect. This is just a basic Strathmore marker paper that I don't use very much. It's made for like alcohol markers, which if I'm going to do that, I tend to pick a toothier paper that actually bleeds a little bit because I like how it looks. Hey, Cadoodles! How's it going? Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Let me give you a shout out. I've talked about Cadoodles here before because they do the super cool stickers that I showed some of you and other art as well. But let me give a shout out. If you aren't following Cadoodles, they do stream. And is just generally a cool and supportive person. So you should check them out. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that. That's really sweet of you. And I love taking money from Bezos. Which is really what the Prime subs are all about, right? Oh no, thank you. You're sweet too. Artists supporting artists. That's what it's all about, right? Okay, what am I doing? I'm doing this. Okay, so done colors I can put over here. And drawing colors I can do over here. Yeah. Which drawing colors sounds not clear, but I will know what I mean, which is the important part. Thank you! I did all those myself. The dance one took like 6 months for me to get done. But I think it turned out really well, so I think it was worth it. Okay, so that's the done one. These are the ones that can go in the drawing stack, but the vote's going on right now. So we did burnt umber. We did violet. And this month's was New Leaf, which is pretty much wrapped up. I just need to do Patreon posts for it. Yeah! I'm slowly learning how to animate emotes in a way that makes sense. Yes, the fire and mayhem. Okay, Prussian blue. I don't remember why I still have the cadmium orange over here. Oh, it would help if I wrote the whole color name, wouldn't it? I love how I just called this one red. I should have given it a different name, but you know, all the reds on there. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I did, luckily with the dance one specifically, I was able to just record Celeste in Animal Crossing so that I had a like a reference that was really good, which helped. I also did the stretch one without a reference, and I think that one it's a little more basic, but it still looks pretty good, I think. But I like doing, for the animated emotes, I prefer doing something that's like actually animated versus just like vibrating or something. I have animated emotes turned off on Twitch because there are so many that do like the bright flashy lights, and it just messes with my eyeballs. It makes my eyes hurt. So I try to be careful about how I do mine. Okay, lilac, shock pink. I don't think I have cadmium orange in here. I don't know why that one was off to the side. There was probably a reason for it and I just forgot because I haven't touched these in a while. Oh yeah, see, it's right there, so I don't know why I have this. Okay, you're trash. That's been declared. I do, I think, need to get more cadmium orange paint. I do need to buy that thread color, but that's a problem for another day. I probably should just get a list of a bunch of different thread colors that I need, because that'll be easier. The thread isn't expensive, but if you buy it online, they have limits because it's cheap. So you have to buy, like if you're buying thread colors online from Joann's or whatever, you have to buy 2 of each color, which is annoying. Okay, these are scratch paper. I'm just going to use this and do a line through so I don't forget that we already did those. And then I can use the backs of these for testing other colors. But first, we're going to work on some lines for some of these. This probably isn't like the most interesting content I've ever made, but also it's my stream and I make the rules. Oh, there are more of these done than I thought there were. Because I know I had a few of these cut out, so we did some of them on stream, but we can make a few more colors. I do want to do metallics specifically to add into the box because these metallics that I got for Christmas are so pretty. But that does make other stuff limited. As far as other mediums, because not everything I have has metallics. So I'll have to decide, like, if I want to try to make flat colors look metallic, which I can do, like that's just shading, but, or if I want to lean into just doing the metallics. Because it is more limiting, but I've really only been doing watercolor for the past couple. Yeah, these ones are so pretty. So I swatched all of these yesterday because they were a Christmas gift. from my dad. So this is them on the black paper, and they're like really good. So this is Beam Paints, B-E-A-M, if you're a watercolor person. And then here's, most of the sparkles are over on this side, but here's them on the white paper. There's the pumpkin spice one too, which I really like. But the Beam Paints is an indigenous owned company that does sustainable packaging and sustainable harvesting of pigments and stuff. So they're a really cool company. And this is all of the colors that they make. So I did 2 swatch cards. I'm going to do a light fastness test on them during the summer. So I'm just going to stick one up in the window and see what happens. But they're really pretty. And the way that they show up on the black paper is like so good. It's excellent. So yeah, so that inspired me. I think we will add some metallics into the pile. I do have other, oh, it's literally right there. Yesterday I was like, where the hell did I put it? It's right next to my face. I do have these, which are other metallic paints. Well, it's technically pearlescent, but they're metallic. But they're a lot lighter pigment-wise than these ones are. And the one gold that they have is like really light and more white focused. Yeah, my aunt got me this for Christmas, and I had just been complaining the day before that my tea got too cold while I was sitting here painting. So it was like perfect. She read my mind. Because I complained about it, and the next day the package with the gifts showed up, and I was like, Aunt Karen, how did you know? You're so perfect. That's right there. Just going to keep setting things random places and losing my own train of thought. Oh, I didn't do the little circles on that guy. Did I do it on the other ones? Yes. All right. Yeah. And this one has like different settings for what the mug material is. So this one's ceramic, my mug is. But there are other settings for like if you're using a metal cup or if you're, I forget what the other setting is for. There's another one. Obviously don't use plastic on it because it'll melt. But, okay, doing circles on this. That's what I'm doing. I also need a pencil. Does she have a brain today? The answer is no. I don't remember which way I did this. Okay, those 3. Yeah, have a good lurk, and thanks for the pop by and the sub. That was really nice of you. And enjoy your yoga. I should really start doing yoga properly again. Because it's good for me. Especially now that I'm doing the art modeling. I think getting not just flexibility, which is not my main focus in yoga because my body is a nightmare zone that's way too flexible in areas, but starting to do some of that like strength building that yoga does for you so that you can hold a position for a long time would be really good for the art modeling. So I should start doing that again. I did yoga a lot when I was a teenager. Like I went twice a week with a family friend. And I was not buff, but a lot stronger than I am now. Not that that takes much. I'm a potato person, and I like it that way. Oh, I was really excited to see. I mentioned yesterday. Yes, yesterday. I know what day it is. That I'd posted my top 8 games that I played this year to Twitter. And I'm delighted to see that some of the devs that I tagged, just so that people could find the game easier, liked my little tweet. I know, it's nice when people see your compliment, you know? Especially for some of those games that They are indie games. They aren't like AAA titles, but even for the ones that kind of made it big this year, like Dredge was on my top 8 list, and that one's been up for a couple game awards. So it's nice to see they don't forget us, I guess, is what I mean. So I guess I should think about what colors I want to do for these. I feel like I don't have a lot of greens. Where did I literally just had the list. There it is. I don't have a lot of greens. I don't have a huge amount of blues, I think. I also need to add some more yellow, probably. I tend to, and some pinks, I think, as well. I think adding a magenta into this would be a good idea. Just trying to think about what colors I don't have or are underrepresented so that I can add those in. Because part of the thing about like setting up these color cards is that, oh, I also would like to do, I should start writing these down. So let me just make some notes down here in pencil. So I want to do gold. I want to do silver for sure. Magenta, I just said. There is something else, and me thinking to write it down scared the thought out of my brain. Oh, Viridian Hue was one that I thought I should do. What else? I've done a dark purple. I have a light purple in there. I think a robin egg would be good. And the butter color from the Beam Paints is a good one to add in. One of the problems with me picking the colors that I'm putting into it is I have color bias, right? So the things that I don't like, I'm less likely to look at and go, oh, well, I should put that in there because I want to paint with that. Which means that I'm not stretching myself as much as I should. So colors that I'm not particularly fond of are pink and yellow. I like them all right. I have a complicated relationship with pink because I was, in my generation of my family, I was the first girl. So, and it was the 90s, well, early 80s and into the 90s. So I got like everything I owned was pink for a solid portion of my life, no matter what I said my favorite color was. So, because everybody was excited that there was a girl. But that does mean that I felt like pink was forced on me a lot, which means I'm not particularly fond of it. We've gotten to a bit of an accord lately, but I'm still not. It's still not my favorite. It's not one I generally pick. And yellow, I don't know. I haven't ever, yellow has never been my favorite. It also looks really bad on me. Just because I'm very yellow skinned. Like my undertone is very yellow. So I end up looking weirdly jaundiced. Like when I was a baby, the doctors apparently thought I might have jaundice, which is pretty common in babies. But nope, turned out I was just really yellow. I forgot to put my phone in streaming mode. Where did I even put my phone? That's another question that apparently will not be answered at this precise moment. Where did I set it? Doesn't matter. I can put it... Can I? I think I can put my do not disturb on from here. Maybe? Yes. There. All right. But I need to try and confront my color bias. Oh, grays, that's what I was going to write down. Warm gray and cool gray were my thoughts. Because I really think gray is cool and it should get more accolades because it's such a versatile color. I don't know, a lot of people think it's boring, but it has so many different hues to it. And using just a cool gray versus a warm gray can totally change the vibe of the piece. I am going to need to cut more of these cards at some point, probably. Although, one of the things with my long-term projects is when I start them, I'm never really like 100% sure how long I'm gonna do them. My first long-term project, which is when I started my Patreon, was the Year Lyrics, a year, which was really just 52 pieces because I did one a week. But I think there might have been a time in there where I took a break, and I'm not gonna remember. Because I know there've been a couple months in the past, like the last project, where I took a break because I had some pretty big life things smack me in the face. But my last project was the Visual Dream Journal, and I kind of started that without knowing when I was going to be done with it. It ended up being about 2 years. So I'm not sure how many of these cards I really need to make because I'm not sure when I'm going to feel done with it. Because for a lot of the projects, there's like a goal that I have in mind to accomplish. And so when I feel like I've hit that, then I'll start thinking about a next project, or if I have gotten to a point where I feel like I'm done with. Oh, this is not the one I used because there's a bigger circle there. Okay, where are my other stencils? I might have left that one somewhere out here. I don't know. I have a bunch of engineering stencils. Oh, I probably used this one. This one? Question mark? Not quite. I think that'll be fine though. They can be a little bit different. I say as I continue to look for the one that I actually use, because I think there's one that just has circles on it. Where exactly? I don't know, but oh well. Not a huge deal. That's what I get for not doing these all at the same time. Okay. These ones start at the 12. And I think this guy, this guy. Pencil. There it is. Maybe I want to do kind of a bronzy color too. I haven't put in a black either. I think that one will be a real challenge for me. Just because I'm such a color person. This guy. gonna forget which one of those it is every single time. Do also, I guess, have new art supplies since the last time I filled these out. I do have some acrylic paint pens. I do also have some plain acrylic paint, but I don't want to drag that out and deal with it, so that's not going to go on there. Acrylic isn't my main medium anyway, so. But I do find having these little cards pre-planned out really helps defeat some of the brain weirds around having to figure stuff out, because I've already done a lot of that work. I'm definitely a person who preloads work by like a lot. I tend to get a bunch of extra stuff ready. So like I have a bunch of paper already cut in the standard sizes that I use and the different papers that I use, because if I want to do art, if I have to have that extra step of cutting the paper, sometimes my brain will just go, no, you don't get to do anything. You get to sit here and stare at your phone and feel bad about it the entire time. So when I have the spoons, I definitely do preload my work a fair amount, especially with projects like this. In one way, like I know myself and I know how to help myself be more productive, but in another way, it's just kind of being kind to my future self so that she doesn't have to do as much work as I'm doing. I am not 100% sure what I want to do on Friday, because I should get some more sticker packing done this week for sure, but I think that's probably an off-stream task. I guess there is a painting that I wanted to do that is not related to any of my color and focus stuff, but I don't know. I'll see what I'm feeling when we get closer to the day. See how much work I get done this week, because I do have some extra time, because the people who I usually watch stream aren't streaming this week because they're taking a break, which is good. But it does mean I'm a little bit at odd ends for 4 of my times. It also means that the way that I usually look at my schedule is a bit different this week, which really probably means I'm going to end up sleeping in a lot and ruining my sleep schedule, but that's fine. It's a self-imposed sleep schedule anyway, it's not a big deal. And actually, it's probably better if I start shifting my sleep schedule a little bit later, because most of the classes that they're going to need models for this next semester are going to be the late classes. So getting used to being up a little later is probably going to make that easier on me, although there is also an early morning class that they'll need a model for a couple days at least. I'm guessing, because it's the same teacher that I worked with in the morning this last semester, so I'm guessing the curriculum will stay pretty much the same. which would mean 3 days, theoretically, that they'll win a bottle. But who knows? I just think about things way too far ahead because I have the anxieties. I'm also just a very schedule-oriented person. Like, I need to know what's going on. I need to plan out my day at least the night before, if not earlier than that, ideally. Because I'm just like that as a person. Okay. So I have a few colors here I want to do. What else do I think I need to add? So I've got two kind of green blues going, which I think I was missing before. Some magenta I definitely need to do. I think doing some other reds would be good. Because for this month, one of the ones up for the poll is just like red. It's just basic red. But I think maybe doing like a Pyro Red Scarlet kind of combo would be good. Which is on the kind of orangier side. Then maybe doing, I have a violet hued red paint, but I don't know that I have anything else that will really match with that. I also haven't done a light green, so I could do a light green. This one was milkweed, I think, so let's use that as a base. How many cards do I have? Let's see. $17. Do I really need that many? Probably not, but that will give us a base here. 11. I haven't done a white card. I would like to do that, but I would need to put it on different paper maybe. Nah, let's just do white and I'll put it on there, and it'll look silly, but that's okay. Because if I do the other paper when I'm shuffling them, because I shuffle them with my eyes closed and pull the colors for the next month, I'll be able to tell the difference with the papers. So to keep it balanced, I'll not do that. I guess I could do like a streak of watercolor on the page and then do the white over it so that it's clear. That would probably work. Let's do that. What else? What other colors do I need? I did do like a sky blue. Yeah, the light cerulean is kind of like a light sky blue. What else? Maybe start with those and then we'll see. I guess I do have a light yellow put down here. I don't really have a light orange. So that could be an option. What's that orange called in this box? This one's caramel. If I remember, this one's kind of light brown, orangey. Maybe like, let's pull out every single supply I own and see what I'm vibing with. Because oranges are often pretty limited, but I'd like to do kind of like a paler orange if I can. I guess I do have the Azo Red Gold, which is a pretty intense orange, and then I have the Cadmium Orange, which is a little lighter with the paints that I have. So that might be okay. I haven't done like a pale pink color, so like a rose kind of color. So let's add that in. That would be 13. I said I had 17 cards, right? I'm gonna have to recount them again. I'm so bad at remembering numbers. Yes, 17. Okay. I wrote that down so I don't forget again. I do have a deep blue. I added a light green here. I really wish that I ordered a full dot card set of the Daniel Smith watercolors, which is the main brand that I use, and it still hasn't shipped. I'm wondering if they're like even gonna ship it to me, or if my order's gonna get canceled at the last minute, because they said it was supposed to be here by like today and it still hasn't shipped in their guesstimation. Oh, my phone's right there. I go to check again, even though I know it hasn't shipped because they'll email me when it ships, but I just go and check again just in case. Yeah, arriving by tomorrow, hasn't shipped. You're a liar. And perhaps a thief, we will discover. But I would really like that so that I can decide what kind of other color cards I could do, because looking at a list of colors is like very helpful for this. So that I can look and see, oh yeah, I haven't done something like that, or I have done something like this, so I shouldn't do another one. I guess I haven't done like a really nice red brown. That's something I haven't done. I was thinking maybe bronze also for metallics, so I'll add that in, because that's kind of in the same boat. And then maybe like a burnt sienna color, although I feel like that was similar to umber. Oh no, those are all okay. I don't know why I remember thinking that. There must have been a reason, but so we can do a burnt sienna card here. Maybe number 15, so 2 more, and then I'm out of these cards. So let's just, I guess I have cobalt teal, but I don't have like a darker teal. But maybe that's too similar for right now. I guess I also don't have like a really deep blue-green. I also haven't done like a French ultramarine or anything like that. Maybe like a mustard color. I haven't done a mustard. Let's add that in. I did write down magenta. I did, okay. Then maybe I want to do one based off of this pine. That would be good. Okay, so that's 17. We'll see how that looks as we get going here. So starting out with the metallics is going to be the easiest really, because that is way more limited. Did I bring out the metallic thread with me? I did. Excellent. Because I have these, thank you fingers for dropping that, these metallic threads are like notoriously a bitch to work with, but these ones actually do pretty well. It's Diamant which is like diamond filament from DMC threads. And it's not single strand, but it's like also not a 6 strand like a general embroidery floss is. So it has a much more thread-like texture to it, and it works a lot better. It does still, as you can see here, it does still split pretty bad. Well, maybe you can see that. It's very thin. It does still split into the different threads like regular floss would, but these are a lot easier to work with metallic-wise. I guess I can actually use the bookbinding kit I got to punch the holes for this, which is going to make my life so much easier. I love this. This kit costs like 20 bucks and it is saving my fingers. I also think I'll make a little, at some point, I'll cut some paper to make a little swatch book so that I can put all of my swatches in one place, because that also would make my life easier. I need one of the completed cards out as a guide, please. Thank you. Okay. Oh, I forgot to write. That's why I left that one out. I remember now. Because I added the other color and then I didn't write the medium there. This one was Beam Paints. I mixed Beach Rose. No, just Rose, not Beach Rose. I mixed Rose and Grape for that. There we go. I remembered eventually. So, actually closed for me. Thank you. I do think I have a gold. This is the swatch sheet. I do have a gold acrylic paint pen over here. Me moving everything I've ever owned around. There is also a Primsacolor gold colored pencil, although I remember those being like very dull and disappointing. This is what I was grabbing. And I did color code these with tape. Do I remember which colors was for what? No, I don't. But that's okay, I can figure it out. Because, let me look at this again. So I think if I do Dreamers, so they're plain gold or they're Dreamers gold. I think Dreamers gold matches this gold very nicely, so let's do that. Which I think is this one. Yeah. All right. I want Dreamers Gold to be the main one on here. So Beam Paints. Dreamers Gold. I think I'll just name the card Dreamers Gold. Really, it's just a greener toned gold, but oh, I wanted to write that in a bigger pen. Dreamers Gold, and then I have a few places that I draw the lines. I have some dates here. Which is just for the month that I finally end up doing it. And then the official project rules, quote unquote, is that I do at least 2 projects with the color per month. So my little cards have project 1 and project 2, but I've just been writing all the projects on it because I keep the cards that are finished. I don't know, having a physical representation of the things that I've accomplished really helps my brain. Because I can go, oh yeah, my brain will be like, oh, you didn't do enough art. You aren't a real artist. And I can go, actually, I have a comprehensive list of every piece of art I made this year. Fuck off. So for the first month, I really did just do 2 for the color. That was October. So I was also doing stream ink. So I made like a lot of art that month. Last month I did 4 pieces for it, and this month I've completed 3. I think I could technically count it as 4 because I did this little frog guy separate from the other sheet, so it's a different original. But it was wrapped up in the same concept. So, but I just leave the 2 project spots there because I can always add, just write them in if I want to. Punching holes in this, that's our next step here. So I was just doing these with a T-pin, which after a while makes your fingers hurt, just in case you were wondering. This paper isn't as thick as the ones that I use for the quilt blocks, so like this paper, this is heavy duty watercolor paper versus, can I do this so that you can actually see the sizes? So like she thickums, this one not so much. I decided to use a watercolor paper that I have that I don't particularly like for the cards because it doesn't really matter if I'm just doing little circle examples. But I got this bookbinding kit that has like a little awl and a guided hole puncher here, which saves my poor little fingies. I do want to probably put dots here to make an X so that I know where I want to put the holes. Because hole placement is very important. You could take that from me. These holes are probably a little bit bigger than I really need, but I would rather do it that way. Than hurt my fingers. And actually my wrist, because my body is acting up this week, which we talked about last time. Come on, there we go. Is that a perfect X? No. Does it need to be a perfect X? Also no, so it's fine. But that is a lot easier than doing it the way that I was doing it. Let me put these back in here before I lose them. And the other part of that guide can just stay out of the way for now. I wanted to get out the metallic colored pencil. So I have silver, and gold also comes in this set, which is in here somewhere. But it's not like it's one that I use a lot. So it's probably near the bottom. There we go. And you can tell I never use it because it's still in like the exact same right out of the box sharpened state versus like this one I have used, because the silver, if you aren't super heavy handed with it, works as like a medium gray because it's really not that metallic. Let me see. I will do the Primsacolor, and I think they just call it gold. Metallic gold, yeah. know these ones have color names, like color numbers, but they're different than the standard line. I mean, I'll know what I mean, but if I could put the number on there, that would be good. But I don't think they have it on the actual material, which is probably an indicator that the number isn't that important. Okay. Eraser. There's a question. Oh, right there. Beautiful. I always worry if I erase too hard, I'm gonna make the camera really like crazy, but I forget how freaking stable this table I'm using is. This coffee table, I'm on a coffee table in the living room. But this is a coffee table that was made by my great-grandfather out of a antique school desk. And she is chonky and thick. They straight up do not make any sort of table that's this sturdy anymore. Like, it just does not exist. It's from the great-grandfather I never met, too. Oh, hey, Goose. I am live. Pleasure to be stalked, I guess. Welcome in. Oh, I need to remember to not put my pinky on the bottom of that mug after it's been on the warmer because I will burn myself. Okay. Brain work? Question mark? This one. Oh, I moved the water so that I wouldn't knock it over, which was smart of me. But I need it now. Hey, Shawnee! Yeah, mine is pretty sturdy. I was thinking about it because watching you yesterday, so. I was like, oh yeah, I didn't realize how privileged isn't really the right word, but I'll use it here. Privileged I am with this table. Well, I guess it is privilege. Just not necessarily the way I was thinking of it. Because the fact that I have any furniture from my older relatives does show privilege, so. Yep, exactly. Really, what is a streamer but the neuroses of every other streamer they've ever watched? That and a pile of miserable little tech problems. That's just kind of how it goes. I should be using a bigger brush for this, but like, this one was right here. And pulling out a bigger one would involve reaching behind my water bottle. I don't know that I'm feeling up to that. This is fine. This works. It also doesn't help that this is like really crummy watercolor paper, which is part of the issue, but I can't just throw the paper away, so I have to use it for something, even though I know I don't like it. Because I bought a whole pack of it like an idiot. Yeah, I feel that. So my setup right now is in the living room, which is great. Not, because I live in a house with my brother. And so there's an extra room downstairs that I've been working on getting set up to stream in, but we found a water problem, so that's been kind of put on hold. So this is not a permanent setup, but this is a setup that's good enough. It's better than nothing. But it's definitely one of those things where instead of waiting for the perfect time to start streaming, because I just started streaming this year in June. Instead of waiting for the perfect time, I was like, you know what? We're just going to do it. So I've been threatening to stream for like ever. Probably since I joined Twitch, which I was a relatively early adapter, I guess. I was on here in like 2012, 2013. Do I mean 2012, 2013? Around that era. Okay, this guy, which is just so bleh in comparison to these other ones. Yeah, for sure. So it's a relatively small issue. We live in an older house, so our house was built in the 70s, and whoever decided how to plan around the house for drainage was like high that day or something. I don't know, man. But it's something where you have to be really careful about the gutters and stuff like that. So we just need to get something fixed, and then the problem will be solved and it'll be fine. But we have other things in the house to fix too, so it's just one of those things where like home ownership bites you in the butt again. Because like I do own 25% of this house. Really, it's my dad's house. He's the one who's paying for it, but my name's on there. And the amount of problems we've had to deal with in this house, like I love this house, it's great, but there's a lot of things to deal with, and that's just part of being a homeowner, really. But it also stresses me out, which I don't think is a hot take or anything, but. So I think I'm gonna double up this thread when I put it on the card, just because it's a really thin one. I might even triple it, just to make it very clear. There's my needles. Are you open already? You are. It'll work. But once we get that fixed, it'll be fine. I just, I need to replace the flooring. And the reason that I realized that we had a water issue down there in the first place was because I was pulling up the carpet and I had to pull the baseboard up. There's another word for that I was going to use. Skirting. That's what I was going to say. And the skirting was so wet that it just kind of like folded. And I was like, well, that's not great. But apparently I caught it pretty early on, so we don't have any like structural damage or anything, but it's still something to deal with for sure. Yeah, that's good. Yeah. Meow meow. I just want to be a little meow meow. I don't want to have to own a home. Although it's better than it could be, for sure. Again, with the privilege. I do have privilege. Although this house has been an interesting one, because I believe, if I understand from the realtor enough, we are actually only the second people to live in the house, because the people who bought it like right after it was built lived here until they had to move out to get help because they were older. So at least I know my house isn't haunted, I guess. And it stood up during the big earthquake we had a few years ago. So she's sturdy. And I will definitely appreciate that. Yeah, I think that's visible enough. But we just had a couple small issues and nothing structural from the big earthquake we had a bit ago. I forget what the final read for the magnitude was on it. But it would have been 2018, I think. I know that because we had a couple roads torn up from that too. I live in Alaska, for people who don't know. So earthquakes are normal here. And we did have one that was relatively big that had some major damage that made national news. But our house was mostly fine. We've got a crack in our countertop now that will cause issues at some point. And like some cracks in the drywall and stuff, but other than that, we're fine. Like cracks in the drywall are just going to happen at some point anyway. Okay, there's one. Look what we did. We made one. I think I do want to work on erasing some of these lines a little better. Just because I'm anal. Does it matter? Will anybody really care? No, but I care. So. All right, there we go. This one. This one? Yes. No. One with the tape on it. I make little systems for myself and then I immediately forget everything. Now the tail on that is a little long. Let me trim that before I put it in, because that will annoy me. That's better. Okay, so we did gold. I have too many tiny little things all around me. Usually I'm like a nester, but for some reason when I'm streaming and I have too many things I need to move, it makes me like implode a little bit. So we've done gold. Let's do silver. Which again, we get to use the crummy Go-Go Streamer Chan. Yes. This is one of the songs from Valhalla, which I was actually talking to Goose about yesterday. But I have a lot of their music in my streaming playlist because it's safe for both here and on YouTube. So, and I get excited when Go-Go Streamer Chan comes on, because I don't know, I find it really amusing. Okay, this one can go. I did pull the silver out, and it's right there. Goot goot. So let's do silver. I guess I probably want the metallic paint pen out again, but different color this time. This one? No. Let's play how many art supplies do I need for one thing? Although doing this now means that I don't have to do this when I pull it out, pull the card out for working on in the month, which is much kinder to myself. Although if I really wanted to do something wild for silver, I could just do like really heavy graphite because of the shine from that. That could be interesting. I am definitely not a graphite artist. I was saying that the other day to somebody. Because I definitely, like, you have to do graphite if you're doing any sort of level of art degree. Like, I just did an art minor, and I still had to do, you know, basic drawing, which is with graphite and sometimes charcoal. So I did have to do that, but it's not my favorite medium. I'm fiber by training, and everything else I've pretty much self-taught in. Although my oh, I want to lighten those up before I do this. And probably do that. What was I saying? Oh, fiber by trade and self-taught in most everything else. But my college doesn't actually have a fiber program anymore. So the teacher that I had who was there moved away, and they got somebody else who unfortunately passed away. And so the program is kind of just gone. Which makes me kind of think, well, what if I got an MFA and started teaching their fiber program? But that's like a bad life choice for me, and I know that. It's just like sometimes you think, oh, well, there's an opening here. I could do that. And then you realize all the obstacles to actually get the job. There was actually, so my original plan, I majored in cultural anthropology and then minors in history and art. And my original plan was to go to a master's program for museum studies, which ended up not happening because all of the museum studies programs then were very, very competitive. So the schools I was looking at seriously had like a max of 4 people they'd accept every 3 years or something like that. And I was like, I'm sorry, like I did pretty well in college, but I'm not that impressive. So there was like no way I was going to get into any of those, and I had some other issues then, like mental health issues that did not help with that situation. So that kind of ended up dying on its butt. But the museum here is now looking for, like, trying to fill the position that I was going to be trying to aim for as a goal. And they aren't requiring a graduate degree for it. I mean, I'm still underqualified for what they want, but it's kind of funny how things change. It's almost like those really exclusive programs that were trying to make themselves look fancy bit themselves in the butt, and now there's not enough people in the program at all. I want to punch holes in the sky. Let's do that. This is crooked as hell. That's fine. Yeah, it's funny how the more exclusive you make things, the less people are in it, right? Everybody's shocked by this development. I don't know, but I don't know. I guess part of the reason that I'm thinking about all this stuff so hard is, one, I'm working back at the college that I got my undergrad from, which isn't like I'm not teaching there or anything, but I'm being their art model for the art classes. So I'm back in a place, and I'm thinking about how I ended up here. Which, because it's winter and there's no sun, sometimes that leans a little bit to the darker side. So it's kind of like, what if I had actually gone to art school? I don't think anything dramatically would have changed, if I'm being honest, but your brain still likes to take you down those paths. So, like, I might have lived someplace else. I probably still would have depression and brain worms, and I would have ended up in a similar place, but with a different degree, thinking about what if I had gone for the cultural anthropology degree? Yeah, exactly. It's just like, what do you mean? Excluding people excludes them? More info at 11. Did I pull that out? Where did I set that? I It's literally right in front of my face. All right. It's like, I'm pretty sure I pulled this out. These silvers are a bit different, but that's okay. I'll probably just end up using the watercolor if I'm being honest. That's pretty much how it's gone the past couple times. Because like, I keep putting these thread colors on thinking I'll do some wearable art because I have some smaller, what's the word? Embroidery hoops to make like jewelry out of. So I keep putting the thread colors on here. Like I'll do a thing and then I don't have time to do the thing because I'm doing 35,000 things at once all the time and forever. It's going to happen at some point. Maybe I just need to have it divorced from the color and focus and just do some little thread doodles on my own time. I also need to get some resin at some point because I have some small pendants too that I was thinking I'd do little itsy bitsy watercolors in. But in order to seal those, resin is definitely the right answer. Thread. Oh. You need to get set farther away because you're in the way. How has it already been an hour and a half? I feel like I've accomplished nothing. Which isn't true, but sure does feel like it. I guess it's also partially that the sun is already down. She's gone. I won't see her until 11 o'clock tomorrow. So we are past solstice, so we'll get more daylight. Buddy, if you don't stop splitting and ruining me trying to tie a knot, I'm gonna bite you. Thank you. Yeah, you're always right, Streamlabs. Alright. Why are you doing this to me? Thank you. No, I didn't write down the thread color. I will need to do that. It's easier to do it before I stitch it in the card, but we can manage. I believe in us. that down. Glad I finally convinced my brain to sit down and do this because I'd been feeling like I needed to for a while. I think I've just been a little bit overwhelmed with everything going on. Because I feel... I've said this since I started streaming, honestly. I feel like when a toddler has just learned to run recently and they just start booking it, and you can tell that they're off balance because they're leaning way too far forward while they're running. And you can tell that they're going to fall at some point. It's just a matter of when. That's how I've been feeling like this whole year. I feel like I'm running forward and I'm making progress, but I also feel like my balance is really off. And at some point I'm just going to crash and burn. Because I've been doing like a lot of new stuff for me this year, which a lot of it was not by my choice. So that always makes it a little bit more difficult. But yeah. It's definitely, I feel like a lot of anybody around my age and younger really feels like that. I'm 35, just in case that's a question. I'm not a baby, but I'm definitely in that generation where all the goalposts got moved pretty drastically. So we all feel like we're running to catch up. That's great, Shawnee. I love that though. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like we're all kind of feeling like that, but we don't have any time to like actually take care of ourselves in a way that we can feel like we're back on balance again. Which I don't necessarily think is new just to our generation, but we're definitely feeling it in higher quantities than other generations have. We just did silver. I think I'll hold off on bronze for a bit here. Let's do magenta. I do have a magenta in here. Also, I don't have my regular palette out here because it's in my room where I was working on a different project because I'm a mess. Oh, I do have my travel palette out here though, so that has magenta in it. And that will be perfect. And then I can also pick... Do I have a magenta Copic too? I think I do. Let's see. You're fuchsia. Are you close to magenta in the vibe? You are. Okay. Is there also... What else have we got in here? That's probably closer to what I want. I definitely was an overcautious child. I never really did the running around and stuff because I was scared to hurt myself. I was not a child who liked sensations, generally speaking. I think you two are a bit too in the purple realm. You definitely are. You're close. I think that's pretty much as close as I get in this pack. That's fine. I do not know what color it actually is though, because the Posca ones, all of the color names are only on the packaging. Like they don't have a number or anything on the actual pencil, which is like really weird. And I don't like that. So I'm guessing this is fuchsia. But do I really know? No. because I've moved them since I bought them. So they're all in a different order now. Yeah, I think fuchsia. I think that's fuchsia. Yeah, I didn't notice. I'm really glad that I didn't throw this away because I didn't notice until like a couple weeks after I'd bought them. Because I saw a TikTok where somebody really liked these. Whiskey Rabbit Art, who just has such a nice voice. I love listening to her. But I do like these a bit better than the Primsacolor, but I don't think they're worth the price because this pack for 36 colors was $50. So I really don't think it's worth the price. I think Primsacolor is fine. Primsacolor is also not cheap, but they're more readily available and they go on sale a fair amount. So it's not as big of a deal. But I definitely, oh, excuse me. I need to do a swatch sheet of them too, just because I haven't done that yet. So I'm not as familiar with the colors in the box. Because like I did the swatch sheet for all of these paints yesterday. What I really want to do is bind a little book with my preferred paper in it, and then do a full swatch of all of my art supplies so that I have like a color book that I can go through when I'm trying to decide what I want to do with something. And I did 2 swatch sheets so that I can do a color fastness test, like a light fastness test. Because during the summer we have the sun shining right in our windows all the time. So I'm just going to tape a sheet up and see how well those do. I need to decide what I actually want to put on that. The reason I picked that up was for the magenta, because there's like a cherry magenta in here that I really like. Which one are you? You were strawberry, right? Yes. So this is going to be cherry magenta. Maybe, because I do know I also have a magenta Daniel Smith, which is the brand that I usually use. I think I can actually just do like a split circle and write both of them in there, because I have 2 kind of magenta-ys. And I think, yeah, I forget what Quin stands for. Quinzine, something like that. My brain just short-circuited. I am going to need that at some point. So I did peel that color out. I don't know how to pronounce that word. This is where actually having some sort of professional training in a medium would help. Quinacridone? Quinaridone? I don't know. But that's what that stands for. So that's this color. So I'll just do a split there, I think. But let me get these on. I'm just going to call it magenta. I'm going to end up with so many of these cards that they aren't going to fit in that container that I've established for them. I'm going to need to turn them. Just because I'm doing the thread on the edges, they're going to pop up on one side. So what I really should do is flip them around, but that makes it a pain in the butt when I'm shuffling them to take video for the poll. I'm not making any sense. I think I'm tired today. I say as if I haven't been tired constantly. I've been tired since I was freaking born. There. But that will lay a little bit flatter, so that won't be as annoying. So I think I'll do just like a line like this. And I can do one watercolor on one side and then the other one on the other side. And I need to decide, I probably want to do Copic and colored pencil. This guy, which is probably fuchsia, but who knows? Yeah, I am fading fast today. It's almost like I streamed 3 days in a row or something, like a crazy person. This also is a bit more brain intensive than we have been doing, which was on purpose, but this is definitely something I need to work on, and I won't unless I sit down and feel like I have to, so. And then we need to pick a DMC thread color to go with this. Here we go. Actually, maybe I want to put down the other colors and then pick so that I can see them all next to each other. That seems to make sense. I can also punch holes in this now. If I can keep track of any of the things that I have sitting around me. Here we go. Yes. I feel better that I just even decided what colors I should do for these. I don't know why that was so hard for me to conceptualize. but it sure was past little bit. I don't know, I've been a little overwhelmed and I'm just dealing with life stuff, I guess, especially since this is the first Christmas since my mom passed away, which has a bunch of other fun emotions attached to it. So I should give myself a break, really. Colored pencil. Then while we wait for that other watercolor to dry so we can put the second watercolor on, I will pick out a thread color and see if I actually have that thread color. If I don't, then it goes on the list for ones I need to buy. Because all I need is an excuse to get more thread. Okay, let's see here. Somewhere in here, probably you. I think. Yeah. 3804. I think I do have that one. Let me write it down before I forget. 3804. That is what I said, right? I'm so bad with numbers. Why am I like this? Yes, 3804. Which I feel like I've written down before, because I do have a long-term fiber project going at the same time. Where did I set my threads? Brain function? Don't know where. Oh, it's literally underneath this. I have too much crap. But I do think that, I know I have 3806, which is a different color, but well, would you look at that? It's right there. I'm doing another fiber project that's an Advent book. So like an Advent calendar, but it's a soft book. So it fits on a stream view pretty well. And I'm making that for one of my streamer friends. Although I've been working on it for like 3 years or something ridiculous. Because I'm doing all, so I did all the design work myself. I came up with all the measurements myself, came up with the idea. I didn't see that anybody else had done it before, which surprises me. But I'm doing embroidery on all of the day pockets. And I finished those, so I finished all the pages, but I still need to do the cover and bind all the pages together, which is a task. And I haven't designed the cover yet. I've been working on it, but I'm not happy with it. So I keep futzing with it. Really, I just need to settle on something and do it. But I want it to be perfect. I spent so much time on it. But I also haven't really done a project like this before. So I looked into like softbook techniques, and most of the bindings that they do are just kind of like a 3-ring binder situation, which was not what I wanted to do. So I'm like creating a whole new way to make problems for myself, which is how art works, I think. We look at how other people have done things and we go, but what if I make it more difficult? Oh, of course you didn't actually thread properly. Fuck you. Come on, buddy. There we go. See, was that so difficult? You could have just done that the first time. Maybe, I was thinking that we were going to get this done today. That's clearly not the case. So maybe I'll be working on these a little bit more on Friday. I do still have more new sticker designs to pack, but I'm probably going to do that in my own time while I'm listening to an audiobook, because it's a nice keep hands busy while you listen to something kind of a task. And I have an audiobook checked out from my library that I kind of need to buckle down on because I already renewed it once. Nobody's waiting on it or anything. I just feel bad about it. I've been having some difficulty getting into it. I don't know if it's just like the writing style or what. I guess I went from Pride and Prejudice audiobook to a pretty dense historical audiobook, which makes a little bit of a difference. But it is one that I'm interested in. It's Hidden Figures, which they made a movie out of a while back about the African American women who were computers for NASA, which is interesting, and I love learning about little pieces of history that get overlooked, which more often than not is about women and or people of color. So also queer people. That's not this book in particular, but that is something that I've read about this year too. What book was that? I read like a lot this year because one of the things that I wanted to do was read more books, and I've accomplished that. So for like New Year's resolutions, instead of saying, oh, I want to do I want to lose X amount of pounds, or I want to do X amount of books. I do have both green and orange, I think, with the glitter. Let me pull it. Ugh, I'm gonna throw things around. Let me double check. Yeah, so instead of doing like specific number-based things, I would like to do more of this. So year before last, I said I would like to play more indie games, and I did that, and I kept that up this year. This year was I would like to read more, and I kind of expanded that to consume more media that's new to me. So I watched more shows and did more movies and stuff like that that were new to me, because I have a tendency to just rewatch the same thing over and over and over and over again, which partially is just because a lot of times I'm overwhelmed and so I need something familiar, but it definitely has done a lot for my creative process to consume more new stuff. So which do you like better, Shawnee? I have the green or I have the orange. So my goal for next year is to take more photos of myself. That's the alrighty. You got it. Because whenever I do my art versus artist, yeah, I think they're both really nice colors. These ones are, the glitter ones are really random as to what you get. But I think the colors are usually pretty. The black one's kind of boring, but that's okay. But yeah, so I'm going to try to take more photos of myself. Every time I do art versus the artist at the end of the year, I realize how few photos I take of myself. And for a hot second this year, I thought the only photos I had of myself were at my mom's visitation. And that was a depressing thought. And I was like, you know what? We have the power to fix that. So we're going to be tackling our self-hate and taking more photos of ourselves this year. I would also like to keep up on reading as much as I have, because I think it's good for me. But once you get started on something like that, it's easier to continue. And I definitely have been really good about supporting my library this year. Here we go, little green glitter star. I do really like this green color. It's kind of like a more muted jewel tone green. Here we go, into the bucket. How's our light doing? Can we get the nice swirl going? No. It's almost like it's really dark here. Okay, you should be dry enough to add the other one now. And this one. Sometimes when I do this, I just stick the paintbrush into the paint tube, which is like probably not the best way to go about life, but it's better than taking out a whole blob of paint for something that's just teeny tiny. Those are pretty close color-wise, but a little bit different. Yeah, thank you. Those don't get redeemed a super huge amount, but I think, oh my god, this travel kit. I love the concept, but because the wells are plastic, sometimes if it's dry and you try to close it, all of the bits of paint come out, and it's not super helpful. Which side have you used the bottom? This side? Blargle indeed. I feel that today. And welcome in, Fig. How you doing? Other than Blargle, obviously. If Blargle is our only mood today, that is also acceptable. I'm not here to police your Blargle. Okay, that's done. I can write that on this list. That's now underneath 35,000 pieces of threads because I am a human disaster, which surprises absolutely no one. But I think my plan is to do a couple more of these and then raid out. I know Lib is streaming today, and I would like to go hang out with Lib. And also, I'm just kind of tired today. I'm a little sleepy baby. I'm patient 0 of sleepy bitch disorder. Hungry! Homework is bad. I will definitely agree with you on that. So perhaps it's time for you to get a little snackaroo as a treat for working on homework. Or a full meal. You deserve a full meal too. Yup. Patient 0, sleepy bitch disorder right here. If you want to join in, we can all be patients together. I'm even having mildly caffeinated tea. Oh, that's also a mood. I was late to my own stream today, only by a couple minutes, so like not actually late by most people's standards, but it's late by my standards. Are you dry? Yes. Excellent. All right, in you go. I think a couple more of these, because I did at least get color ideas down, so that's a really important step for me. Let's do Viridian Hue Salish Sea, I think was the color that I really liked for this. Not you, this one. Also, I really need to stop using this headset because it makes my ears hurt. Which makes me want to not stream as long because I start getting a headache. You know what? Maybe I'm gonna date and like project all of these so that there's another step done for the next time I pick this up. I think that's a smart idea as well. So let's do that and drop the lid to our pen because, of course, why would we not do that? That's just a logical step. So that's the wrong size pen. That's not what I wanted. I wanted this one. Yep. Yep. What day is it? Tuesday? We're really in that liminal space. I think part of it is also that I streamed the past 2 days, which are days that I don't normally stream, so. Hey, Kettle! I will read that just a second. I'm gonna write this down and then I will read your message. Rogue Trader has a mechanic. Oh, visit an NPC, hire mercenaries. I see. I see. Yeah. Clearly, I don't know if I'm thinking about this like Tomodachi Life, which when do we get Tomodachi Life on Switch? Please and thank you. But really what they should do for a lot of these games is have the ability to use a QR code or something and read another person's character into your game as a mercenary. Because you could do that with Tomodachi Life, and I think they let you do that with the Me Life game. That's also totally valid, Fig. I didn't play Me Life, but for Tomodachi, you could like make your character and fill out the personality quiz and stuff, and then other people could load them into your game, and it was so fun. Yes, exactly, Fig. Just like, could I download your Murder Hobo, please? But that would also save you time in the character creation screen. I miss Tomodachi Life. Maybe I need to play Tomodachi Life some more. That'd be a nice wind down game at night. As if I don't have 35,000 other games to play. I also want to play... I own Detective Pikachu on the 3DS and I never played it. And I should do that at some point, probably. I think I would enjoy it. I just never got around to it. And then I keep buying new games. I loved it. Yeah. I do think that they should not just port Tomodachi Life to Switch, but they should also let us be gay. Very important. Because I had 2 different islands. I think maybe I double bought Tomodachi Life. Oh, I definitely put that 1 on the wrong side of the number there. That's fine. But I had one island where I had like all of the TOS Star Trek characters in it. And it broke my heart that I couldn't make Kirk and Spock get together. Although at one point, so like I said, you could import people's specific Miis into your game. But I also made them like based off of people just in my life. So I had one that was my grandma. And then I had gotten the code of a streamer that I watched. It was like a small streamer. We were like friends. But he ended up marrying my grandma at one point because I wasn't paying attention when I was clicking through text. And that was very funny to me. So I feel like my grandma would get along with Spock, if I'm being honest. My grandma did marry a very tall man who didn't like spending time with other people and grew up on a farm and spent most of his time out with the trees. So I'm not saying that all of my family has some sort of autism or brainworms, but like all of my family has some sort of autism or brainworms. We're all weird people. Oh, that's fair, Fig. Yeah, I was in college when I was playing it, or had just graduated because I am old. But it was pretty funny. I think I ended up marrying Kirk at one point. Which, like, whatever. Everybody knows Spock is the catch. But I also did, like, the full cast of Once Upon a Time at some point and sent those codes to other people. I don't know. It's just a fun little game. It's like Sims, but you don't have to deal with their executive dysfunction. Oh, excellent. Excellent. As it should be. But yeah, it's fun. Although the kid functionality was not great. Because like you could either keep them or you could send them off into the ether, and sometimes they'd come back with stuff from other islands. So I feel like if they did something more interesting with that. Yeah, exactly, Shawnee. Like, I have enough problem making myself get up and go to the bathroom. So I'll pass. What, the Sim is having a meltdown making mac and cheese? That could just be me in my own kitchen. Thank you. Yeah, I never really got super into The Sims like other people have. Like, I totally understand pouring so much time about that, like, into that. But it's not the same for me. Which is fine. Not everything needs to be about me, just to be clear. But exactly, Fig. It's cold here today, and it's colder in the living room than it is in my own room. It was -3 degrees when I woke up this morning, which is a little cold. That's Fahrenheit, just for the record. I'm not sure what that is in Celsius, but very cold. Ooh, excellent choice, Fig. Enjoy. I do love a Wendy's. It's not windy here, but we had a bunch of snow and then the temperature tanked really bad. So we're all the way up to 8 degrees Fahrenheit. Our high for today was supposed to be 11. We did not reach that. But I am a little chilly. Yeah. I've never been a fan of the Frosties, honestly. I don't know, the texture is weird to me. I'd rather get like a real milkshake or a soft serve and not have like the in-between. But love them spicy nuggies from Wendy's. Even though my body does not like them, it will be forced to continue to deal with them. Which is a great fun thing about aging, is discovering new things that your body has decided aren't allowed. Even if it's something you've eaten like all the time forever. Yeah, it is a weird texture. So like I can understand why people would like that, because I also like things that other people consider like weird bad textures. So like I love those really dry ass meringues that you can buy in plastic containers at the store that feel like eating drywall. I love that. It goes crunch crunch and it's delicious and I love it. But I totally understand why other people wouldn't like that, specifically for the reasons that I do like it, you know. I just like crumption on stuff. Costco soft serve is good. I think they do frozen yogurt now instead of like regular ice cream, or they did for a while. Or maybe that's just ours. I don't know. We do have franchises up here, but a lot of times they're just like the franchise slightly to the left because you need to do a lot of different things because you can't feasibly ship everything in. Yeah, yeah. Well, they make, I'm sure your partner already knows this, they make edible packing peanuts out of rice starch. Yeah, so the supply chain up here is like super weird. So I worked at a Papa John's up here for a while, and in the lower 48, all of the pizza dough is shipped in from a factory that they um, make all their dough at, right? So it's shipped in fresh, but they have a bigger area for them to make all the dough at once. Um, Up here, though, we had to make our own dough, and so we had to get the recipe correct, and we changed it a little bit and had to get like corporate approval for it because of what we could and couldn't get up here, which was exciting, I guess, if you're into that kind of stuff. But that's pretty similar across all the franchises up here, where things will be made fresh up here that they wouldn't be made fresh otherwise. Um, just because the supply chain is such a pain in the butt. which, like, fun little Alaska things. But most of the franchises up here are individually owned instead of corporate owned, if that makes sense. So it's a different kind of contract situation. So, like, all the McDonald's up here pay better than the ones in the lower 48 because they're owned by somebody local. So it's kind of like a weird in-between space. Also, Papa John's doesn't want me spilling their secrets. They should have made me sign an NDA. Because it technically wasn't my job to do all of that stuff, but they probably don't want people knowing that, but I'm going to say it anyway. Also, the owner who was owned all those up here was a really gross human being. I will also say that. And then I'll stop. I will hydrate. Thank you. Slurp, slurp. Yeah, exactly. And what's really weird is, like, they keep it a secret for a lot of stuff because you'd think that the stuff being made fresh would be a bonus. But for a lot of times, corporate doesn't want you to say anything because then it exposes everywhere else for not making things fresh. So it's a very interesting, weird, I don't know, expose on corporate bullshit. So, like, really you only find out about this stuff if you're working there or if somebody else who works there tells you. But it's pretty amusing in a general way. Okay. I wanted to do the Salish Sea, and then I think we'll go raid Lib. Because I love Lib. I want to go spend time there. Lib is definitely way more high energy than me, just as a warning. But they'll definitely wake us sleepy bitches up. I pulled that out. I'm not going to end up using that right now, so go back into the prison. Thank you. You can also go back into the tube prison. Okay. Figuring out what are the colors for this. That's what I'm doing. I know how to use my brain. Yeah, which is why I warn people, like, if we're going to go hang out with Lib, there are a lot more sound alerts there. There's a lot more stuff on the screen. So if you are easily overwhelmed by stuff like that, I warn you that it might not be the place for you. I do really like Lib. I enjoy Lib as a person. But I do also understand that their stream can be a little overwhelming. Especially because they've been doing a subathon for like 3 months now. And so there's a lot of extra stuff on the screen. Because if you gift a certain amount of subs, that's not that color either. Is there really not a good one for you? Maybe you? That's closer, but still not right. What was I saying? Oh, they've been doing a subathon since September. And one of the bonuses, if you gift 10 subs, is you can put a PNG on the screen. So there's like a lot of them. Well, I don't think that Copic is going to be kind to us with these. So let's look at, well, at least not the ones that I have. I do have a limited amount because, again, not my main medium. Yeah. Specific vibes. Maybe this one I don't really have either. It is a pretty specific color, but oh no, that's it. There we go. What color that is, I couldn't tell you, but we can guesstimate and pretend like we know what we're doing, which is basically what I'm doing all the time, so it's not that different. Where did I set the packaging for that is the next question. Here we go. Who knows what color that is? Maybe blue-green? I would call it like a peacock or something, but that is not an option on our list. Ah, cool, cool. And good. I try to do that every time I'm in there, but I sometimes forgo. So that, I think blue, green, emerald green, fresh. Oh, maybe not. So that would be dark olive and pine green, and then this would be emerald green or blue green, maybe. I think blue green. I think that's blue green. If I'm wrong, then oh well. And Lib does need to do stickers because they have a convention coming up and they print all their own stickers, which is cool, but also means that they need to get a lot of work done. And they aren't, much like me, they are not the most focused person in the world. Ew, that's way too blue. I'm just going to keep poking at these and hope that suddenly there's a color that I have that will actually work for this, even though I know that there isn't. Lysi. All right, well then we'll just do Viridian Hue from the other one and make it work. I am going to call this Salish Sea because I like saying that. Lib has a convention coming up, and since they do all their own stickers, they need to do a lot of printing. So I'm glad that they're getting some done. Yeah, I mean, chaos attracts chaos to a certain level. So I definitely have added to this chaos and cannot claim innocence in this matter. But yeah, it's can be hard to focus when you have a bunch of people. See, I generally attract a very mellow and cool person, so the vibe of my chat is very different, which means that I actually get stuff done sometimes. It's not Daniel Smith of Viridian who I have, it's Reeves, so I need to remember that. Reeves. Posca. We decided this was blue-green, probably, maybe. And then we need to decide on a DMC color. Let me punch holes for this. So I think I'll finish this card and then we'll head out. I think that's my plan. And I wanted to get at least one more done. Usually I put guide marks down for this, but I guess I decided to just go for it as if I'm a confident human being, which is not true. But let's just do it and see what happens, huh? Hello? Hello? There you are. I should put the plate back on this while I'm sitting here, because otherwise I will forget, and then I will lose it, and then I'll be cranky. If I can figure out where I put it. Here it is. Maybe at some point together we can make a little swatch book. I did see somebody have a swatch book. It wasn't like the focus of their video on Instagram or whatever, but they were flipping through it to decide what colors they were going to use on the piece they were doing in the reel. And they have theirs organized by color, so they have all their reds on one page and like all their blues on one page, which I think makes a good amount of sense. So maybe I'll do it like that. Because I do think that's smart. Because someone like me, I do like to arrange everything in color order, but then if you get a new color, your order changes. And that would drive me nuts if I was doing a swatch book and then I was like, okay, well, we filled everything in and it's in the right order, and then I bought a new paint. and then everything was off and I had to shove it someplace random. So I think doing a page for each like color would be really nice and would look pretty and wouldn't make my brain implode when I got new colors. So I might do that, but I think binding my own so that it's my actual paper is going to be really good too. I mean, it'll be a little bit extra work, but I think that it's work that I'm actually willing to do, at least at the moment. We'll see. I may change my mind. I could also just literally buy a watercolor sketchbook, like a small one, for like $10 and then just use that and cut out a bunch of work for myself. But I don't know. Perhaps I like the idea of binding a book. Yeah, I'm still working on that, the Advent book. Okay, you're just not gonna do the thing. Listen to me, please. There you go. Good Lord. Yeah, so I am still working on that. I finished all the pages, but I still need to do the cover and the binding of the pages together. But it's not going to be the same way that I do a binding for sheets of paper. Different vibes. I love how I got this huge thing of water for today and then ended up using water like 4 times. Such is life, I suppose. And better to be prepared than not. I love this color. I love this color so much. I want to eat it. Exactly. I had to actually like full on scrub out my paint water cup today when I was going to refill it because it just had mica coated entirely on the bottom of it from all of the glitter paints that we swatched yesterday. And I'm sure I didn't get it all out, so all of my paints from today are going to have a little bit of glitter to them too, which is fine. Yeah, just eat some mica. I'm sure that's good for me and couldn't possibly do anything bad to my insides. I rinsed that and put it away, but I actually need to use it for this. Pretty in Hue. I know I put it in here. Is this one? All right. Which is pretty much the same color, I think. Pretty much. But a little bit different because it's a little bit more transparent, really. Which is why it's called Hue. No! I've done that before. It is not pleasant. Delicious heavy metals. Yes, that goes back in there. This goes in the little thingy bopper, which is here. And then we get to decide on a thread color. Okay, you can just go in there. That's fine. This next. Ooh. So we're going to be somewhere in this realm. That one is pretty good, I think. Right there. 3812. 3812. 3812. 3812. There we go. Let's see if that's a color I actually possess. I'm not sure, if I'm being honest. I feel like if I had that color, I would have used it. Therefore, I would remember it, but you never know. Nah, definitely not. All right. 53817. That's not the same. Alright, so I can write that on the list of colors to get, and it can go into the bucket. Right. So let me clean up my little art nest here a little bit. While we sit here. I guess I haven't finished my tea either, which it's 5 p.m. Maybe I should not, but also I want to because it's delicious. Okay, you go in here because you're being voted on right now. And I think probably we will work on more of these next time, because I would like to get them all done even if I can't fit them all into the little container. It's not that big a deal. That's just an organizational system for me. But that will be a good thing to work on, and it's a good chatty thing too, because I can pay attention to chat a little better. I do also need to pack stickers this week so that I can get those up. I did write the listings this morning, so we're a step closer to those new designs being ready to go. Tomorrow is a Patreon post writing day, and then I should be all caught up just in time to start working more on the new color that gets picked. I do need to start thinking about what I want to possibly do for those colors. I probably will want to do another terrarium. I know I'm doing another quilt block, but other than that, I don't know. We'll see. I would kind of like to do a more realistic watercolor painting probably, because it's been a bit since I did one of those. I think Aussie Red Gold is winning now, which wouldn't suit itself particularly to a pet portrait, which I've been thinking I want to do. But I also, aside from just the color and focus stuff, I do have a idea for a funny greeting card that I would like to do that will involve a pet portrait. Because I have a photo of our old cat like absolutely shrieking at me, and I think it would be really funny to do like a little card with him shrieking on the front, and then on the inside it just says, "What the fuck, I miss you," kind of a thing. Because he used to scream at us whenever we got home from vacation, because he's like, "Where the fuck were you? You weren't here and I miss you." So he'd scream at you for like a half hour and then curl up on your lap and not let you move for a few hours. So I thought that would be like a funny card that is a nice little sentiment to just send to your friends whenever. Because I think one of the things about greeting cards is a lot of times people think about the specific most popular cards. But I think we also need to look at the cards that aren't available. So I'm working on a kind of line for chronic illness and chronic health issues in general, where like a lot of people would send a get well card, but that's not really applicable to the situation of a chronic illness. So I have ones that I'm thinking of. We're still thinking of you for one, which is like an after the sympathy card, but a reminder that you're still around. And some that are like, congratulations on your diagnosis, congratulations on being right, kind of a thing. Yeah, exactly. Hey ho, what up? I hope this flare ends soon is one that I have on the list, stuff like that. So things that there's definitely a market for, but I think people don't necessarily think about right off the bat. So I've been working on those a little bit. I do have those. Yeah, exactly. Because like for a lot of a lot of the chronic health issues, you have to work so hard to advocate for yourself to get a diagnosis in the first place. And it's a lot of work, and people deserve congratulations for finally, one, getting doctors to listen to them, two, figuring out something so that they can have a better plan forward, and three, just knowing what the hell is going on is such a victory. For sure. Oh, love that. Love that. So yeah, I'm hoping to do some more of those. I did do paintings for backgrounds for greeting cards, so I did order um yeah, I'm working on everything all the time forever. And then I run into a wall where it's like when I need to order stuff, I don't have the money ready. So, oh, good luck with that. Those can be like really rough to get going and stuff, but yeah, exactly. But if it takes you closer to knowing what the hell is going on, then great. I hope that goes well and that you get some answers. Because being without answers is really difficult. For sure. Okay, I need to move this. This might make a sound that you can hear. I don't know. Oh, nope. There it is. Mostly cleaned up enough. So let me pull up all the stuff that I need to pull up. Yeah. I do hope you get some answers because that can be really frustrating. Just in a general sense, and also like having to convince people to look into stuff, it can be really difficult. But I also had an idea for health tracking stickers, because I know I keep a journal where I track health stuff, and I just use colored dots, so I have a color coding system because I'm just like that. But I feel like when you aren't feeling well, you don't particularly want to track stuff, even when it's important. So I had a sheet of stickers that had like visual coded stuff for keeping track of symptoms. And where that's at right now is not really cost effective, because I wouldn't want to charge a lot for that. So I'm hoping that if I get a system set up where I can print my own stickers, I'd be able to do that in a way that would make more sense. But I did do a test run of those, and I think the way they are now is not functional. So I would need to work on that more. Because figuring out the right size for them was also a little bit of a difficulty. But the place that I ordered my stickers from, the stickers are definitely too thick. So when they're small, they're really difficult to peel off the page, which if you have health issues, generally speaking, your dexterity isn't going to be great. So even with my dexterity being as good as it is, I had difficulty getting them off the page. So we're gonna wander on over to Lib's channel. And like I said, it's louder, there's more stuff going on. So if that's not your thing, that's totally okay. And feel free to not come with us. That's fine. I'm not gonna be upsetty with you, so don't worry about it. And you're welcome to just go with the raid to get the extra channel points and then dip. Again, I won't judge you. It's all good. But yeah, there's a lot more stuff on the screen. There's a lot more noises. So be prepared for that. Yeah, thanks for coming in, Shawnee. It's always good to see you. So yeah, thanks everybody for showing up and chatting, and new followers and new subs and all. Very exciting today. So that was really great. Thank you. I'm glad you all were here. So be kind to yourselves. Take care of yourselves. Remember you're loved. If you can't take care of or be kind for yourself for you, please do it for me, because I think you're awesome and deserve nice things, including from yourself. All right? So make sure to do something nice for yourself today. Okay? And I'll be back on Friday. It's going to be the morning time. I know we've been doing more afternoons lately, but it's going to be the earlier time. So 11:30 Pacific, and it's 10:30 my time, which means that it's another time on the East Coast, and my brain's not going to do the math. Right? No, just not going to happen. All right. Well, I'll see y'all then. Bye.